I'm a big Terrakion stan. I know a lot of people like Landorus. I've always liked Terrakion a lot more. I feel like Terrakion's just like a Landorus that stabs at close combat instead of stabbing that Earthquake. And it's faster. I think it might be stronger. It gets access to Taunt. There's so many cool things you can do with Terrakion that you can't do with a lot of other mons. And yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy Terrakion compared to a lot of stuff. And our first game going up against Solgaleo Palkia Dual Genie in Sin Wims. Wims is going to be the biggest problem here, I think. I think Wims is probably going to be the biggest problem for this team in general. Just because we always do want to lead Wims, but our Wims has so much that it wants to do. It wants to enable Terrakion with beat up. It wants to use Switcheroo tech. It wants to set Tailwind. And when they lead with Wims and do the exact same thing, and they also can set Tailwind and stuff like that, it makes it just really, really hard. Let me just mute this in-game audio. There we go. Alright. Yeah, there's no snipers as well when we do it like this. So we can see Palkia in Sin, which is a really good lead versus this, I would say. Again, if you fake out my Wims, I don't have access to protect in this set. I have Tailwind, Switcheroo, Beat Up, and Moonblast. And if you fake out me, it'll activate my eject button. So this is going to be hard and dicey, and I'm figuring I can probably just go for a Switcheroo, and if for some reason... actually, what do I even do here? I remember, this was a hard one. You can't find battles sometimes. I'm stuck in the division I'm in. What division are you in? Yeah, I'm really thinking about what I should do here. I think I end up max guarding. We'll see. And I think I have quick guard on this thing too. We'll see. I don't really remember exactly how this turn went, but I know I really wanted to switcheroo into the Palkia. So let's see what I get away with here. Wims just hard switches out. Oh well. I think I just save it. Yeah, into Cali. Yeah, so I switched into Cali to block the fake out, and I think I just raw protect and like soak the damage on the Terrakion slot. I think that's what I'm doing. Because like, what are they doing? They're not trick rooming here. So yeah, they're gonna max the Palkia obviously. But it's cool to see people are getting back into VGC. I've seen a few people in the Discord as well are talking about like getting back into VGC to prepare for the new games, and I think this is about the right time. You know, you can casually play over the summer, watch things like the NAIC and Worlds, and you know, just give you the time to actually do it correctly. Is the Eveldon, Groudon, and Yveltal? It is, yeah. So just a fake out block, switching that Ghost type, and just going for the big Max Geyser. The biggest Max Geyser the world has ever seen. Right into that Terrakion, literally doing over half through my Protect. That's so much. But now you can see the turn that I have here. I have enough damage to double into that Incineroar. And we also see Life Orb Palkia, which I actually think is pretty good to see Life Orb Palkia. So I'm looking at their team and I'm like, okay, they could switch in Lando, but they're not. They probably think that they can just eat this with Incin. But remember, we've recently been using a ton of hyper-aggressive strats, and the one that I really am attached to right now is a Choice Specs Calyrex. I think Choice Specs Calyrex deals a lot more damage than people prepared for, and if you play it a little bit differently, note that I wasn't leading with it, it's not sashed. If you play it a little bit differently, save it for, you know, not the first turn of the game, you can actually come in and do a lot more damage than people are prepared to deal with. Case in point, if I were to go to Astral Close Combat in this Incin, I wouldn't get any KOs. But because I'm Specs, I have just enough damage to make sure I can double into that Incin and get the KO. So you see, that would be doing about half on a low roll. And wait, we have more than enough damage to go into the Incin, and I do good damage to the Palkia too. I think the new game, I'm going to try to get all three starters to start out with. I mean, that's always a good idea. I think that's always fun. Yeah, we take the big damage here. Yeah, I think I like this play even a little bit better. You go for the damage on the Palkia, fodder the Cali because Incin can't do anything to Terrakion. It's a good play. I like that play a lot. So there's the foil. It's like, what are you doing? What are you going to do to Terrakion? And again, like I said, this is my first game with the team. But, luckily I don't get burned there, right? Yeah, we just sent out the Wimps here, and what I like about this situation is I can just go for Beat Up still. This is their second turn max, but again, Palkia underspeeds Terrakion, and I can just go for Beat Ups here, but guys, remember, Beat Up hits your teammate or whoever you're hitting one time for every healthy teammate you have. Like, for example, if my Whimsicott was paralyzed, it would only do 2 hits, I think, or if I had a paralyzed Pokemon in the back, it would only do like 2 hits. So they have to be healthy. And they have to be not KO'd. So Calyrex doesn't count, but it is going to let my Terrakion get a +3 boost to its attack. Switch out the Incin here. I don't hate that. They're trying to cycle Intimidates and stuff like that. But in this situation, I still think we're absolutely fine. One thing that I did note about this Terrakion, right? One thing that I did note about this Terrakion is that I have Sacred Sword and Close Combat, and that's on accident. It's definitely on accident. So I have to go after this game and fix that and put Rock Slide on there. Like, I noticed it when I selected the moves, and I was like, I hope they don't have Thundy in the back, otherwise I can't hit that thing. And there's the Thundy, but we're still fine. So Terrakion's going to a +1, right? And then I'm going to hit again, because it's our Justified activating. So it's a really, really, old school combo, Wims Terrakion, but it's really, really good. So it lets you hit your teammate one time for every healthy teammate you have, right? So because we have 3, right, we get a +3 boost to our attack on our Terrakion, and it's pretty nice. But yeah, we definitely go put Rock Slide on after this. So we go for the Max Nuck into the Palkia, and then we get another +1 off that because we use Nuck. And I didn't want to use the Close Combat just because I didn't want to like crit myself with 3 beat-ups and put myself within range. So I had to max, which means I used a weaker max move, but it's still fine. Remember what the item choice is on our Terrakion too. The item choice on our Terrakion is a Lumberry, and they already maxed the Palkia, which tells me that that's a support Thundurus, right? So if you're just going to go for like a Thunder Wave or something, I'm absolutely fine. I also can go for like a Tailwind this turn. I'm actually in a really, really good spot. I like foddered my Calyrex. I almost got KO'd by their Palkia, but I've done everything that I need to do to put myself in a position to win this game. I like this play even better. Screw going for Tailwind, right? I already know that I outspeed your Soul, and Soul could be a pretty bulky guy. And so I think I just max out my attack and just Giga Chad this guy out of the game. Yeah, that's even funnier, right? Use for the Thunder Wave, which we were already able to deduce, judging by how they played it. It would not have been a Defiant Thundy. There's the big Lumberry energy, right? And we just take those. We're going to go all the way to +6. I think we're going to be at +6. So we have +4, but we got intimidated. So +3, +3. That's going to be +6. Big max attack Terrakion. We do be loving to see that. And I think I definitely would have gotten KO'd if I didn't max. Whimsicott just starts chunking it after 2 beat-ups. So there we go. +6. Big max Nuck into the Soul Glow. Neutral damage, but stabbed. An easy KO. Yeah, remember, also the max Nucks are making my Whimsicott's beat up stronger. I was like, dang, those hit really hard. So yeah, we take out the Soul, and now all you have is the Incin. Yeah, all this guy had left was Incin Thundy, and they dropped the big scoop. And I'm like, that's hilarious. We take those Rage Quits. You can see me, I'm actually going to be putting Rock Slide on this Terrakion right now. So no Sacred Sword. Close Combat's still definitely what you need. It's a stronger max move, and it's just a better move overall. So we're going into game 2. Right? Which is, again, another Whimsicott. I think, like I said, Whimsicott's a really, really hard matchup for this team, just because it puts so much more pressure on my Whimsicott to do well, and I'm not the biggest fan of, like, fake-out users and hyper-aggression. I was talking about that over the past few days, to where I don't really like to use fake-out users and hyper-aggression, because if they correctly mitigate your fake-out turn, any sort of momentum that you've built up towards then gets, like, reset back to 0. Like, stopping a fake out turn, using a protect, switching and blocking a fake out, stuff like that, that resets all of your tempo back down to 0 and resets the board state back to neutral. If you actually look at, like, Chef VGC, the team that they used with, like, Scarf, Darmanitan, and Urshifu, Lecky, Shadow Rider, that they used to top cut Liverpool regionals, I don't think they had any fake out users either. Fake out users can definitely be great in standard teams. They can be even good in aggressive teams. But they're more so good as, like, bait. You want to have them so you can respect your opponent's options, or maybe have them like a best of 3 setting. So, like, maybe after you win game 1 with, like, an all-in hyper-aggressive play, in game 2 you can slow it down just a little bit while having that fake-out user to secure a victory if you need it. But, personally, oh yeah, this guy rage quit too. I wanted to talk about that. There's a reason I even included this. Normally I wouldn't include those replays. But, like, look how absolutely bodied they were off that lead. They led Groudon and Duskmane versus Switcheroo Wims Specs Cali. Like, there's no way in heck that, like, I would lose that one. That was the easiest game of my life. You don't even go after, like, you can one-shot the Necrozma pretty much. So you just go after the Groudon and get it off the board. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of, like, fake-out users and hyper-aggressive teams, just because it really puts all your momentum like back down to 0 if like the fake out turn doesn't go your way. So we're gonna go into another game. This guy is Mewtwo, Lele, Arcanine, Zacian. It's so good. What are the biggest differences you have to consider when building a team for best of 3 versus best of 1? Ooh, that's like such a hard question because there's, yeah, like best of 1, so many things could work. And there's like 5 different types of best of 3 players, right? There's the best of 3 players that just play super standard, like Joe UX9, Wolf Glick, Aaron Zhang, super standard. They're going to bring their team to the battle, and they're going to outplay you over the course of like a 5 to 10 turn game. Pretty standard. They're going to make slight changes after every single game, and they're just going to try and outplay you. There's also the type of players that go into a best of 3 saying, I got like 6 flowcharts for every single matchup, and I can cheese like 6 different ways in every matchup. So one might say that a best of 3 is just 3 best of 1s, you know? So there's different ways of looking at it. It really depends on how you want to play. Like, I would probably tend to lead more towards I like to bring multiple different strategies for different matchups. So I would lean more in towards the, like, 3 different cheese strats for a best of 3. But that's also, like, you can't even be mad at me. You really can't. Back when I started playing, like, singles tournaments are still best of 1. They're still best of 1 for the most part. And then, like, VGC tournaments, like, I used to go to regionals that were, like, single elimination. I used to go back when the events were best of 1. They didn't start being best of 3 until, like, 2016. So, I was, you know, I was molded by the best of 1. Everyone else is just now adopted by it. And so I love best of 1 events. I still wish they were best of 1, realistically. Just because it suits my playstyle a little bit better. You can see in this game, we're going for the Colpult. Big Colpult energy in this game. We critical hit somebody. Who'd we crit? Oh, we'll never know. But we want to go for the Volcalith here. And you can see what I'm kind of doing in this matchup. I think this is a pretty important thing to notice. Because this is definitely flowcharted out. The way this team's going to work is we want to go for the dot, the Gmax dot. And if they happen to get a double KO here, that's absolutely fine because of the Mons we have in the back. I like bringing Calyrex in the back. I like bringing Whimsicott in the back sometimes. Let's say this turn went like this. Let's say I stick my Gmax dot on the Lando. They obviously max the Lando Airstream. And then, like, let's say they didn't KO the Pult. If I had Whimsicott in the back, I could save Whimsicott, send it out, switch through the Lando, even though it's Psychic Terrain, it's in the air, and then I could just go for another Surf and break the Lando. Because even if they got an Airstream there, which would be the worst case scenario, by the way, Airstream probably wouldn't have KO'd that Pult because we're really bulky, we still have the Choice Scarf on our Pult, which means we're still faster than the Lando. So, yeah, I think that was definitely good. You can see I have the Whimsically, like, set up just in case. I really thought the Leo was going to protect. So they actually made an even better play going for the double KO, but it didn't really matter all that much. Beanie, how's it going? Hopefully you're having a good morning. So, Whimsicott Cali, like, this is absolutely fine with me. Like, there's nothing I really have to care about here. We broke potential sashes on Lele with the Gmax dot. If you want to switch into things, I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's no way you win here. We just go for the big Astral. I think... yeah, Moonblast is an even better play than like a Switcheroo, I think. Just because it would punish them more hard switching and just a little bit extra damage in case I do need that. So I do like that play. I could have went for the Switcheroo though. I definitely could have. Just absolutely no reason to. You don't want to make your Whimsicott lose an item. Like let's say maybe we would take a Vest. I didn't see if that was like a Life Orb on the Lando, but you don't want to take a bad item either. So just go for the big Astral Barrage. Get a big, that's a +2 special attack boost. We got a crit. We obviously didn't even need it. I could have Tailwinded there too, but again, I was looking at their team. I can still Tailwind. There's nothing that really pressures the Whims. And it's not like I need Switcheroo now. And I think the rest of their Mons are grounded. So it's not like Whims actually has anything else that it needs to be doing. Remember, there's still the Volcalith ticking as well, which means if I clock a Sash or something, as long as I have one Mon, it's going to get ticked out by the Volcalith. So pretty aggressive flow charting here. I still think Colossal is really good if you surround it with the correct Mons in the back. And that's exactly what this team's doing right here. So I think they have like a Gastro here. I think they go Gastro. I don't remember. But it is what it is. That's the one thing about these replays. It's always good to play games and then like watch your replays. And this is also getting me to rewatch my replays and find like different ways I could have been a little more optimal. Zacian's a good Mon here. I think it's Zacian and Gastro, right? Or am I super wrong? There we go. Zacian Gastro. Remember, they already maxed the Lando, so it's not like I have to worry about max Gastro. And my Calyrex is at +2 from that Grimnay, and I'm Specs. So +3 Cali Shadow. Absolutely big busted. And it's not like Zacian can hold a Scarf. There's no more secret weird items that can happen. You can protect anything you want. It really doesn't matter. They go for the big Protect Gastro, and the Zacian is going to get absolutely melted. Big melted Zacian. That would look like a Neapolitan ice cream, I think. Big melted. Yeah, that looks enough like Neapolitan. There's a little bit of pink. There's no chocolate, though. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're at That's a +4 right now. Holy moly, we're at +3 plus Specs. And, yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and another rage quit. And so, I just wanted to say, so these are my first 3 games with the team, right? We've been playing it for about 20 minutes. And we got 3 rage quits in a row. And I'm like, bro. And these are all against matchups that I wouldn't even say are, like, amazing matchups. Just because they all have, like, Prankster Tailwinds that we have to match. So these are 3, like, outplay rage quits that happen in a row. That's the single biggest Astro Barrage I've ever seen. I know, right? It's absolutely crazy how well you can, you know, create your team's flowcharts and stuff like that if you, like, layer it up correctly. Like I said, I was planning on not camming the Pult, bringing out the Whims, switchering the Lando, still staying in with Pult using Surf, and let a mixture of, like, Surf and my Vocalith deal a lot of the damage. And that would have been good depending on, even if they maxed, like, the Lele or something, would have been fine. So if they max Lele, they can't be Scarfed, you bring in Cali Shadow, and you just get the pin right there. So that's that. Let's go to another game. Would you recommend a choice ban for Cali Ice? I would not. I'm not a big fan of not having Protect on that Pokemon, but that's just me. My favorite item on that thing, realistically, is a Psychic Seeds. I like the Psychic Seeds a lot, but it requires you to use Indity, which not everyone wants to do. So we're going into this game, and for everyone wondering, I do think I lose games with this team, but, like, it was just Sweep City with this team. I just popped off way too hard with this team for, like, a long time. So, Aleki and Sin, very, very standard, right? Against Whims Terrakion. So they get their potential Fake Out. They get an Intimidate in my Terrakion. This is a good board state for them. Like, realistically. This is good for them. There's not that much that I can do. I'm not the happy. I'm looking at what I got in the back, and I'm like, oh, I'm pinned. I'm so pinned. I'm like, I got to switch out into Zekrom and just hope that they, like, throw Airstreams into the Zekrom slot. Again, I said the biggest strength Zekrom brings to the table is its defensive typing. So we're trying to see what we can get away with here. And here we go. I don't even remember how this game goes at all. All right. Big Terravolt. But look at this board, man. You don't see people using... What is it? I used Rapidash the other day. I used Ninetales Sandslash yesterday. We're using Terrakion Zekrom today. And so they are taking the bait. They are going to be going with the Max Lecky. And I like this play a lot of the times if I'm in their state. You go for, like, a Fake Out, and I think you attack Wimps here. And that gets you pressure through the... What is it? It gets you pressure through the... Protect, and also the potential to potentially break, like, a wide guard. Not wide guard, an eject button. I was just looking at the board state. So yeah, they doubled into the Zek, and I'm like, bro, we take those, right? Zekrom, thanks for the terrain, bro. Appreciate you, fam. And I haven't maxed it. I didn't really do anything that good. I went for a raw close combat, an intimidated close combat, and that in Sin. So, like, I'm not gonna lie, I should have just lost this game on that turn, but we take those. I did not lose the game that turn. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's time to pop off. Do I switch out Terrakion or just Protect? Yeah, Protect is such a good play here because we already have a stat drop. If they go for the Max Lightning of the Terrakion, we're going to lose it. And so we want to enable the Terrakion to outspeed the Aleki. The way, like, speed stats work is this Terrakion isn't full speed, but it has enough speed, I think, to outspeed Aleki once we get to +1. I think? No, it might be plus. It might be +2. It might need +2. I think it does need +2. The Zekrom, though, outspeeds things like Zacians and Cali Shadows at +1. So we definitely want to, like, Airstream up here and just hope that they're not Airstreaming me back. Big Zekrom energy. So we've maxed 3 different Mons in, like, 3 different games. We maxed Terrakion, we maxed Colossal, now we're maxing the Zekrom. It's pretty good. You use Hex to proc Cali weakness policy. Oof. That's funny. That's actually really funny. There's the Max Lightning. into the Terrakion slot. This is terrain boosted. I have a special defense drop, and I'm not going to go down just yet. That did more than that Palkia Surf, though. That's crazy. And we get an Airstream off. I need one more Airstream to guarantee outspeed a Lecky, but we do also take out the Incin, which is pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Hex the proc Cali weakness policy. That's really funny. I used to use a physical Amoonguss back in 2019 with Ground EMZ, boosted off like Stomping Tantrum to check things like Incin, Heatran, and Primal Groudon. I liked that a lot. Amoonguss gets so many cool moves. So I'm trying to remember what they send out in this situation, but I would say that I'm doing okay. You know, I dealt with the Incin, and I guess what I'm talking about, that's a really good example of like why I'm not the biggest fans of fake outs. Just look at that board state. Right? They led Lecky and Sin and had every single advantage. They Dynamaxed and they went all in. They went for a fake out play that didn't end up paying off. I switched, I mitigated the damage, and then I just completely flipped it on them. Right? So a game like that can be really used as a good example, or a turn like that can be used as a good example of why fake out users aren't always required on hyper aggressive teams. And while I would say if you're going to use a fake out user on a very, very aggressive team, it's probably best to save it in the back to secure a KO in a late game situation and not just try to steal a KO on the first turn. Because good players don't just fall for that stuff. Remember doing the calc, see how many hits it took to KO Zacian with Stomping Tantrum Amoonguss? Yeah. Stomping Tantrum Amoonguss is good. Ground EMZ one-shotted stuff if you came in after an Intimidate. So anyways, they go for a big Max Lightning. Terrakion's going to take the L. Nothing I can do about that at all. Like there's nothing I can do about that. And speaking about nothing I could do, this was something I didn't expect. Look at this play. I was like, no way. So we go for the Airstream. So now we should be able to outspeed the Lecky, right? We should. This is a +2. Good morning, good morning. Actually, do we outspeed? I'm trying to remember the exact spread on this Zek. We might not be able to outspeed a +2. I don't even remember. He goes for the raw Earthquake! And I was like, are you freaking real? He just Earthquaked his own Lecky. Like, I didn't think he had it in him. And so I'm sitting here like, I have Tailwind, I'm fine. But I was like, bro, because I was thinking like, wow, I thought what they were going to do was go for the Protect, Lecky, and EQ, right? I just thought that's what the play would be. But they told her like, nah, I choose who lives and dies, and they just Earthquake their own Lecky like an absolute Chad. We have to get that thing off the board sooner than later. I think you have to Wormwind it, get the kill, because now my Zekrom is intimidated. And I'm just hoping that the Lecky protects, and they go for the Protect EQ play this turn. But, yeah. That was a cool play. I am actually a big fan of hitting my own Mons a lot. SP Crash, how's it going? Like, I used to do that all the time. If you checked out any of my content from, like, 2011, 2010, when I got, like, big into playing doubles, bro, I was, like, Earthquaking my Mons every other game just because people didn't see it coming. You know, people were like, he's not going to Earthquake. He doesn't want to KO his partner. And I'd have, like, a random sash on, like, my partner and just Earthquake the crap out of it with, like, a +6 Salamence. It was great. It was great. So, yeah, Lando goes down, Lecky protected, and I got my Tailwind up, which means their Lecky's now within range of like Moonblast. It's within range of anything Zekrom wants to throw at it. And I have a Cali Shadow in the back. Remember, the Incin is down too. So this is another example. I know this team seems really, really repetitive. You go with a really, really like aggressive early game, not necessarily one based around fake out. You bring mixtures of like Terrakion, Colossal, sometimes Whimsicott. You try your best to waste their max turns, using your max turns, anything you really want. And then mid-game, you come out with the Whimsicott, you drop the Tailwind, you save the Shadow Rider in the back, and you just Kobe up for a 3 with the big Shadow Rider. Was I at the NEIC? I was not. I was not at NEIC. I stayed home. I've already done way too much traveling. I haven't even feel like I've been home, like at all. I went to Iceland. I went to Milwaukee Regionals. I took a weekend in Tahoe. Like I haven't done anything. I went to the ocean. I went to the Truckee tunnels. I've been everywhere except for my house in the weekends. So I decided to take that weekend off. So Bolt Strike misses. Never lucky, right? Never ever lucky Bolt Strike in the terrain miss. I wanted to pop that Zacian so hard, but again, it's absolutely fine. Even if you go for the KO on either of these guys, I have a single target spec Shadow Rider in the back, waiting. I was wondering as I went to go meet people and was hoping to meet. It would have been cool to meet you in person. Hey, yeah, I agree. I have fun meeting everyone that I meet at events. There's There's a bunch of people that follow me around everywhere pretty much. But yeah, I usually don't go to the nationals just because there's always such a limited amount of people that can actually get the spots to enter, and I like to give those spots to people that want them. But Callie's up. Callie's up. Line them up. Knock them down. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And we should be good. I actually don't remember if they live this. But it's possible for Zacians to live this. But the fact that we have like Whimsicott means we can just double tap up with Moonblast too. So we do be taking these. And I think a team like this is still really fun. I think Colossal is actually still really slept on. Because it only takes 2 of your Mons. And it forces, it's just like Weezing Gigas. It forces your opponent into a playstyle that you want them to have. And then if you save the right Mons in the back, you're in such a good spot. Yeah, it does live. I was really, really surprised to see that Zacian not get absolutely dumpstered by that Astral. But we got Wims. Wims big busted. And we are going to take those. All the way to the bank, yo. Easy peasy. Alright, look at this one. So, Groudon Zenta Decidueye. Bro, Decidueye. And I don't even know how I found this opponent. I do not even know how I found them. They have like Decidueye Gengar. Groudon Zenta. I was like, whoa. And I was like, is it going to be some sort of like awkward policy proc? With like Decidueye into Groudon? It's gonna be nuts. Or is it like Shadow Sneak Decidueye into Gengar? Yeah, I was like, no way. Or Sucker Punch Gengar into Decidueye, that'd be nuts. Yo, Grims, how's it going? So I'm thinking to myself, like, what do they even do against this? And so I realistically had no idea. Decidueye Pog, I know, right? Decidueye Gaming. I want to make a team using Decidueye. I think it's actually a really, really cool mon. It's great at proccing policies. Pledges are still usable, and the way pledges work is if one of your mons uses like a grass pledge, and you want to pair it with like a fire pledge or like a water pledge, it pulls them up to whatever uses the pledge first. It's kind of like dynamic speed control. So if I were to use like a Choice Scarf Decidueye and use like a grass pledge and have a teammate that wants to use water pledge, it'll pull them up to that same speed tier and then it'll go for the combined attack. Decidueye's cool. Did I crit my Colossal? Never lucky if that's the case. They didn't max either. Either way. Colossal big busted, man. Don't sleep on the boy. Pledges have been lit in non-Dynamax format. Oh, I agree. Yeah, definitely. Oh, we got Curse Bodied. Oh, yeah, I remember what happens. This is funny. Yeah, we didn't crit ourselves with a Surf, though. But, is Decidueye good for this format? No, it's not good, but it's usable. It is not good, but it is usable. And I respected it, by the way. I respected it. There's the Perish Gengar. You know, my first YouTube video that actually, like, did well, that got, like, thousands of views, was one that featured Decidueye. My first video that, like, popped off, it was the first video I made for Sun and Moon. I had already been making content for years, since, like, end of Gen 4. But that was the first one that, like, I uploaded it, went through my standard stuff, maybe got, like, 50, 60 views normally. But I wake up the next day after that one, and it had, like, 10,000 views. And it was just a Decidueye using the G-Max attack there, the Z move, the specific Z move it has. But yeah, it was funny. Oh, I like this turn. Look at this. So I'm struggled. I'm like, cool. I think I was checking my phone right here. I was like, I'll just go Surf. I'll kill the Mimikyu. I'll stop TR. That's fine. And then right there, I was like, wait, why didn't it let me select Surf? And I'm like, oh shit, I got Curse Bodied. And so I was like, okay, do we just risk it for the biscuit? And I'm like, yeah, we do. Struggle is typeless. A lot of people don't know that. Struggle is a typeless move. So it can break the, it can break things like Disguise. Just found your YouTube yesterday, and now I'm finding you streaming. Yo, we're here, literally. Oh, and I also misplayed. I misplayed also, because I forgot the Colossal got the boost. But, like, either way, I still wanted to use Struggle. I thought it was funny. But yeah, imagine if the Struggle went into the Mimi slot, right? And broke the Disguise, and then we just cold there. It would have been sick. Yeah, there's the Struggle. We didn't even go to the right slot, but look at that damage. Look at that damage, yo. Big D-Gleam. Dragon Bolt's fine. And, do they Trick Room me? I'm trying to remember. I don't think they do. Yeah, just go for a Light Screen. You see, that was just funny. A lot of people, though, don't know that Struggle's typeless. and the dot's ticking. So one more struggle into the Gengar would be great. And so in this situation, since we now know that Pult's slower, because obviously it is, we can just go for the Volcalith into the Mimikyu, finish off the Gengar with the struggle. I think the right place to go for Max Flare, but I think I go for the Volcalith anyways because it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're here. We're here, we're streaming, we're part of the 5 a.m. club. And I think tomorrow I'll probably play some games live. But it has been fun using like replays like this that I play like the day before. Like what I've been doing is I've been streaming at 5. I'll answer all my YouTube comments from like 7 to 8. And then I will record the next day's content in team build for about 2 hours until about 10, and then I edit a bunch more videos. I've been going to the pool. I'm taking nice swims in the middle of the day. We have a pool that I've like never really used, and so I was like, I'm gonna get up early, get all my work out of the way, and have like nice afternoons. And it's been nice. It's been a lot of fun. I've been really tired though, because like getting up at like 4:30 is hard. They're gonna finally max the Mimikyu. How's sleep treating you? I mean, we go to bed at like midnight and then I wake up at 4:30. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not getting enough sleep. I know that. I just gotta get used to it though. Just gotta get used to it. Big coal energy. That's a +2. The light screen's gonna let it hang on, but the struggle comes in. The struggle, Dragapult, you struggle. The struggle is real. And we'll take the... So Dragapult eventually did get the finishing blow on the Mimikyu, right? It's just funny to see that happen. Who would have thought, like, Curse Body allowed us to, like, not outplay the opponent, but, like, we make plays. We used, like, 3 struggles, and it was actually the right play. And then the Gengar ticks out from the Volcalith. It's just so good. You need sleep? No, I agree, I need it, but, like, I have to do work, you know? And you save the Calyrex in the back and win the game, right? Easy. Oh, also I think my coal is on like its last turn of Perish. Like next turn. But it's fine. So that means they have to protect here is the right play. But even if they do, like there's nothing they can actually do to break the, what is it? The whims I have in the back. Alright, and I'm also like really curious to see if they even do protect. You know what I mean? Because like this guy's, I don't know how they even got to Master Ball realistically. So we just go for the, yeah. I was checking, I was like, this is my last turn, right? And so if they got the protect, they can do it. Same thing, they got the Heat Wave. I'm like, I'm gonna let them have this one if they have it. But I like that they went for like the Gengar Perish song. And they do have the Protect, which was, I was surprised to see it, which means like they're doing something right. Protect is usually a move you can actually cut on Zenta a lot of the time. And so I was thinking to myself like, Wide Guard would be dicey. But the good thing is we do have Volcalith ticking and we do have Whims in the back. Whims deals neutral damage because unlike Zacian, which has the best defensive typing of like Steel Fairy, this guy's fighting Steel. So Whims is neutral into it. So we'd be fine. There's the Whims. Saving the best for last, obviously. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, I could also go for, like, Switcheroo into my Cali to make me be able to change up my moves and go for, like, Expanding Force. Hope the next game has Pokemon Home capability. I'm sure it will. And so look at this damage. Yeet! Big, big, big damage. Moonblast as well. Zenta's bulky, but it's not that bulky. I mean, it's pretty bulky, right? Behemoth Bash doesn't really matter. And so I also thought about this. I don't remember who they go into, Cali or Whims, but I was like, if you go into Whims here, right? And then you wanted to, like, Wide Guard spam out my Cali, I could use another struggle and get the win, right? That'd be the value play. But I think that this is... There might be one more turn Volcalith. I don't remember. No. So I might have potentially had to win this one with struggle again. But not too often you get 2 KOs with struggle in one game, right? But I don't think they have the Wide Guard. I don't remember that being a factor. And so we'll just take it. And, yeah, things are going okay. Things are definitely going okay. I'm just checking out something real quick. All right. There's the Astral. We get the wins. Oh, next turn. Yeah, the big protect. They're trying to wait. Yeah, the screens are why they didn't just get absolutely melted. That's how much damage the 2 Moonblasts and an Astral did to a screensed up Zenta. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I forgot they even had that. So we'll take the wins. And let's see, how many more games do we have with this team? We have a few. We have a few. Quite a few. This game, Mosa. I love Zamazenta so much. I think Zamazenta is really good, actually. This game, they don't have Indity, but they do have a Mosa. So you gotta respect Mosa. Definitely niche speed tier 151. So it actually can outspeed Cali and be a really big problem. If it has like Throat Chop or something. So definitely respect Zenta. Sorry, not Zenta. Pheromosa. If it does get home, the item was Zacian. Get Serene Grace hidden ability. Wow. Is that a thing? The item with Zacian gets what is that? It still has Intrepid Sword. I wish Zacian had Serene Grace. That'd be busted. But yeah, we see a Lecky Shadow Rider. This person woke up and chose so much anger, right? They chose so much anger in this turn. But the cool thing about our spreads on these mons is this is a Scarf Bolt that actually has just enough speed to outspeed a Lecky. And then if we can outspeed the Alecki with the Pult, we can bring Cole up to the same speed to outspeed the same guy. So I really do like this play and this EV spread on both these mons. So we have a little bit of a faster Cole and a little bit of a faster Pult here. And yeah, let's go for the big deeps. Yeah, Serene Grace is such a busted ability. Like literally every Pokemon that like gets it has a use somewhere for some reason. Like Blissey gets Serene Grace busted, Tokus gets Serene Grace busted, Jirachi gets Serene Grace busted, Dunsparce gets Serene Grace busted. Everything has a use as long as it can get a speed boost, right? And in Blissey's case, it doesn't even need it, right? Alright, so we go for the big Surf. Able to break potential Cali Sash in the back, but also, you know, enabling the Colossal to become an absolutely massive beast. Just going for a big Vocalith. And I think I targeted the Alecki slot, so I could have just targeted that Shadow Rider that turn. But look how much damage that did. That's going to KO Indity, right? Seeds. Not Seeds. That is Seeds Indity that's getting a KO on. Polk gets O-Code super hard. I loved the Z-Snatch Blissey. That's one of my favorite sets. Blissey would use Z-Snatch, and the effect of Z-Snatch would give you a +2 speed boost, while also still having Snatch on the board, so it means you couldn't Tailwind against it, or like have like weird speed control, or if you wanted to like Geomancy or Calm Mind, Blissey could take them. And then it would just use Rock Slide and just flinch everyone out. And that was before Dynamax. So like after Blissey got the +2 speed, it would just become a sweep machine. I loved that team. Yeah, because we know that we outspeed other mons now, we just bring in the Cali. So, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. The Indity's ticked out. Worst case scenario, you have like a Lecky. And so I want to come up with two mons that can repin the Lecky. Because we know Astral will be able to always pin their Shadow Rider if we want to. Or we can just go for something a little bit different if we needed to. Like, I think we could hit the Shadow Rider first. Or we can still double up and go into the Lecky. Wims would have also been a fine option here. I think that there's nothing really wrong with how I played this. Yeah, I think we just go for the Astral. I think I actually just speed tie this, which is probably a misplay. I probably could have just went Wims. No, I don't even speed tie it. I just let them max their Lecky if they want it. And yeah, I like this play from me. It guarantees that like we don't even want to deal with their Shadow Rider. It's like we're not even playing the game. I probably still should have went for the max Flare. It's my fault. But it is what it is. And then the Electro Web, so speed reduced. But I think we definitely Oko the Alecki this turn. Because even if it is sashed, we have the Vocalith ticking. So big Astral, and they have one mon in the back. I'm trying to remember what their other restricted was. I don't remember if it was Zacian. But even if it is, that means we just hard switch out Cali, bring it back in, and then we win. So we do be taking those. Yeah, that's the thing about like beating these teams that have like Cali and, you know, sometimes to the same effect Zacian. They have to max something, right? And if you can take out their mons really before they max, they're stuck not having a good max target. Yeah, it's Kyogre, sorry. So this is a great max target for them. But realistically, I do think we have the tools to beat this. So starting up the Rain Train here. And we're at -1, but we should be able to outspeed it basically everything but a Scarf Ogre, but I don't know if I want to risk that. So I think I just hard switch. Yeah, I think I just hard switch in the Wims. Go for. There's no reason to max guard this. That's such a waste. Don't max guard me. Come on. The Spark Surfer, the Raichu Z move, I like that move a lot too. Yeah, it's better just to hit the Kyogre here, I think. because we still would outspeed in any situation, unless it was like Scarf Ogre. And if it's Scarf Ogre, it's not maxing. And if it's not maxing, like, I don't really care. So we just go for the big Overgrowth. Big, that's a +2 Overgrowth. So I could have just stayed in with Shadow Rider realistically too. But it is what it is. They didn't even max, right? So I don't know what their Ogre set was, but I'll take it. I'll definitely still take it. They came out with a super aggro squad. And we were like, nopers. Not today. And the reason we switched to the Kali obviously was to reset our speed control. So it is what it is. The plan was to like switch into Wims, block a spout, Wims eject button would activate, bring back out our Kali. The Wims would be in the back, having to be resent out on the Cole side, and we would just go Tailwind expanding because there was still a terrain up if we didn't get a chance to use the Overgrowth for some reason. So we do be taking those. I think this guy's Umbreon. Umbreon can definitely be a bit of a problem for like Kali teams. Yeah, Umbreon and Sin. Oh man, look, that's gonna be hard. But like, imagine if I just let like Wims or just leave like Terrakion. This would be so nice. So big clear body that we don't really need just yet. You know, I actually entered Cursed Body Physical Pult in Dallas Regionals because like clear body was so standard, and I was like, Cursed Body's like way cooler, and it ended up not really being good. I think we just go for the Incin this game and just allow the Umbreon to do whatever it wants. So big max first turn. Have you guys seen that meme, like the, you know, he or she is a 10, but they Dynamax on the first turn? And I'm like, I feel that's me, you know? I feel like I Dynamax too often on the first turn, but you can always tell whenever I actually play against good players, I kind of sit on my Dynamax a lot. Whenever I have to win, or whenever I feel, like, in this situation, I technically didn't have to max. I'm really surprised I went for that fake out, by the way. And then I really thought about this fake out as well. And I was like, damn, they knew I was going after the Incin. That fake out probably is by far and away the best play, because there's no way your Incin's living this. You might as well do, like, 10 damage if you can. You can't fake out the Pult, you know? It's literally better than just, like, clicking Parting Shot knowing that you're going to go down, right? And so I was like, damn, that looked like a really bad fake out, but technically, it was perfect. The perfect fake out. And we get the rocks up. Easy. There's a yawn of the Cole. So good play from our opponent. Great play going for the yawn there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And realistically, like, I guess I could have gotten into the Umbreon, but then I would have been opening myself to the Parting Shot play. I actually think it's better to get Incins off the board. It's just hard to deal with Incins. Versus, like, Umbreon is also really hard to deal with, but I can double into the Umbreon now, and if they have Protect, like, obviously the yawn was a problem, and I probably should have respected it a little bit more, but I don't even think I could have KO'd it, you know? So I'm trying to remember how I get out of this situation, because right now, I'm not too happy. But the good thing is they want to go for Protects and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you... Yeah, I think I just stay in and Surf, because we actually need just a little bit more damage, and we need to save... we need to keep this up. The Pult on the board. I think Pult staying on the board is actually completely fine. It deals just a little bit damage, and if you pair the Surf with the Volcalith damage, it's a lot. So they're going for the Protect Zacian. I try to get the Zacian off the board because I realized if I go for Surf here and get a second Volcalith tick, the Umbreon will be within range for Shadow Rider, right? So big damage, and also this max fun of the Zacian, even if they do Protect, puts it within range for Shadow Rider. So it was a win-win for me, I think, because this was pretty much just going to secure the game. There's the Surf. Yes, it's weaker in the sun, but that's fine. Zacian protected anyways. It's also weaker on my Cole. Trying to remember, yeah, let's go for another Snarl. They miss on Cole that time. Not another Snarl, it's their first Snarl. They yawned the first turn. So in this situation, the Zacian's like big nap time. Or not nap timed, but like I'm big nap timed. And you can see how much damage we're dealing here. I was like, I really wanted them to go for like a foul play on my Pult and get a KO. I was really wanting to see that. Just because I wanted to open up a spot for Shadow Rider, but yeah, I can't do anything else. I'm stuck using Surf, and so I'm like, do I switch here? I have no good switch-ins. I was like, I can follow the Wims. I still have speed control, and then like, you might as well just stay in with the Cole. Hopefully they go for the Behemoth Blade into the Cole, and then maybe a Snarl into the Wims, and that'll change. That'll activate my eject button, which will allow me to send out Shadow Rider and then send back out my Wims if I want it, or I could send in my Pult and then not be locked into Surf, which would really be nice. So hopefully they get a KO on the Cole here. Or they just Behemoth Blade the Wims and it's still fine to bring out the Shadow Rider and we're good. I don't want to see Moonlight. I think Moonlight's the one thing I don't want to see. And so obviously the coal goes down, which is great. Snarl would probably be the best thing here. Snarl or Foul Play. And the big Volcalith. What did they use? I didn't see what they used. Whatever. Whim's got on the board for free. We do be taking those. There's nothing wrong with Whim's getting on the board for free. So we just bring out the big Cali. And we're able to clean it up just a bit. Remember, like, the thing about Zacian teams, they gotta max something, right? They gotta max something. So we just go for the Moonblast into the Umbreon just in case. And remember, it's not even like they can proc, like, a Pinch Berry from, like, a Moonblast not getting a KO, because there's Calyrex unnerved. Calyrex is so busted. They should never have made, like, Calyrex an actual Pokemon. Zacian goes for the Protect, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. They're going to lose the Umbreon this turn. We're going to get a THATSAplusONE, potentially. And, feels great, man. Feels great. Oh, you see? It was left. You see? I said THATSAplusONE potentially. See? The double up in the Umbreon's the right play. If they had a Pinch Berry there, that would have been really bad, right? They would have been able to get out of range of the Moonblast. And so we do take the KO on Umbreon. And so we've KO'd Sin. We've KO'd Umbreon. They have a Zacian that's within range for now a Moonblast. And yes, they still have Max, but we have 3 of our Mons, one of them being Pult, and we see a Ray. We have a Scarf Pult in the back, and we see last Mon Ray. Oh, am I thinking what I should do here? Like, do I switcheroo? I thought about it. I thought about Tailwinding too, but I was like, we'll just go for the double attack. Because Whim's outspeeds already. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, if they have Quick Attack Zacian and can proc my eject button, then it's like Sash Ray. That could get just a little bit dicey, but it's fine. They obviously have to max. So, going for the big Cherish Ball Ray. I wonder what event that's from. Shiny, right? Or is it not? Yeah, it's shiny. Okay, I think I have that event. I think I have a video talking about that event. The Cherish Ball Ray. From like 2015, maybe? So, big Astral. Absolutely massive. That looks to be potentially vested or orbed, but like a really bulky set. Either way, it's super bulky on the Ray. Because, like, that's a lot. That means that wouldn't have even KO'd, I don't think. Which is kind of crazy because Ray's like a little wet noodle. And so let's see if they were orbed or not. I don't actually remember. They go for the Airstream, which is the right play. Doesn't really matter who they hit because we have the right Mons in the back. And yeah, the fact that you just didn't even hit the pull or the Whimsicott slot means I can just go Tailwind and Dragon Darts and win. I think the next season of VGC will be on Scarlet and Violet. Well, the next season, it is orbed. So the way it works is in previous formats, right? Everything before 2019, we would use the previous rule set all the way up till January 1st. So even though Scarlet and Violet are coming out in November, and there might be like regionals in November and December, we would still probably be playing on Sword and Shield at those events, and then the new events would start on January 1st. That's how it has worked in other years. But, you know, that's just what it is. Big Dragon Darts energy from Pult, and we take those. We do be taking those. Haven't used that much Zekrom, but like realistically, Zekrom did its job. It came out a couple times. It's good. It's one of the few Mons this team has that can like switch in and mitigate damage and then flip it right back with a U-turn. Or sorry, not a U-turn, an Airstream. And so in this game, they have Lunala Zacian Water Spider. Lunala Zacian Water Spider. People. I'm trying to remember what happens in this game. I don't think they bring the Water Spider. I think I'd remember it. But I remember thinking, like, I saw the Water Spider and I was like, I could bring Zekrom to this. So, let's see if I do. Lunala Grim. Degeneracy. Colossal Pult. I love Pult here. Oh, I like this play. What would you guys do in this situation if you're me? What would you do? You're obviously seeing what I'm doing. But, like, in this situation, like, why do they have Lunala and Grim? Like, why Grim? And so I'm sitting here thinking, like, they're going to do something here. They're either going to give me an eject button, or they're going to give me, like, an Iron Ball, or they're going to give me something dumb. And I'm like, what if I just went, like, Phantom Force here? Right? I think I Phantom Force this turn, right? Because I think Phantom Force is just, like, super cracked into the Lunala slot. And then I still think I max, but we can max into the Grim, right? Yeah, I love this play. Because it's going to still set my dot, which is what I want. But then after the Volcalith hits, we just come in hot and just pop the Lunala. Also, The reason why we want to do it like this is because there's no way for us to stop Trick Room. Right now is what we're doing is we're giving them Trick Room and we're keeping our Colossal slow. So if they're doing something like going for a Light Screen or a Thunder Wave or giving our Cole an item that we don't want, we're still able to hit the Grim, break the Shadow Shield, do a ton to the Grim, keep a slow Pokemon for when they Trick Room, and then because they're Trick Rooming, Dragapult's going to land last. And so it's going to be able to skip 2 turns worth of damage. So we do see the trick. And so, again, eject button would probably be the worst thing, but we do see the Iron Ball, which I was like, are you Trick Rooming me then? Because you just gave me an Iron Ball. So it's always really funny to see that, because like they probably thought I was going to max, or proc my Steam Engine, and I didn't want to. I don't have to. So I'm keeping a Slowpoke one, it's even slower. So now that you're Trick Roomed, I'm the slowest thing on 2 legs in here. So we get the big Volcalith into that, right? And then we go for the Trick Room as Pult already disappeared. So we can see the Volcalith tick on both these guys, right? Pult's going to land and pop that Lunala in the mouth. And I think I'm just in a good spot here. It just shows the versatility that this lead brings to the table. I think I just maxed out here. I don't think I have to do anything sneaky. If I were to go attack the Grim slot, I'm opening myself up to getting like Meteor Beamed. And I don't want to get Meteor Beamed. So I'm just going to chill. Yeah, they switch out the Lunala anyways. I didn't want to trade in this situation because I feel like the fact that I have a Colossal here, and judging by what the rest of their mons, I think they had Zacian. I remember thinking about their team, and I was like, you don't have any mons that can catch me. You TR'd, and now my Cole's gonna sweep the crap out of you, right? So Spirit Break misses anyways, and we're able to hit an Incin with a Phantom Force. Never lucky. Good switch from our opponent, by the way. But the Volcalith's ticking. The Volcalith is why this core is so good. It gets to hit regardless. And so you can see here, I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, all right, we need to target the right slot with Phantom Force because the Lunala is going to come in on one slot. And the Grim's probably going to tick out from Volcalith. So if Grim ticks out from Volcalith and we KO Incin, they have to send Lunala out somewhere. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, I want Lunala to come in on the Incin slot side, the same side it was on earlier. And we might also not KO the Grim with the last tick of the Volcalith. So that's definitely a possibility. You might also just like crit KO my Pult. You could foul play my Pult. Spirit Break wouldn't do it, but you know, it is what it is. So we're going to see what slot these guys come in on. Super bulky Pult, by the way. Very, very bulky Pult. So this is going to redirect my... I think this does redirect my Phantom Force. Or I don't even know, really. Gmax Wildfire doesn't affect fire types. Does Gmax Volcalith not affect types? It doesn't affect rock types. Yeah, so Grim's at 1. Okay, so this was a pretty important turn then, right? Because that means Grim's going to tick out, and the Lunala's on that side. So that means if I can actually take the KO on this Grim this turn, the Phantom Force will be redirected into the Lunala, right? I think that's how this works. I was really thinking about it, because like, I don't really get a chance to mess around with like Phantom Force targeting situations like this all that often. And so this is still relatively new for me. They go for the Thunder Wave. So now I have a Thunder Waved Iron Ball Cole in a Trick Room without its Steam Surge. And I'm like, bro, this Cole's like this is literally like the slowest Pokemon ever. So we get the KO on the Grim. And Survey says Lunala goes for its big Meteor Beam, which is what we were afraid of happening earlier, realistically. We went for that Max Guard to potentially bait out the Meteor Beam and or Rockfall. And they get their big special attack. I always feel so bad for people when their Meteor Beams miss. I don't think this one misses, though. I think this one hits. I think it hits and rains true. Big Meteor Beam. Firing your laser out here. Cole also goes down, but remember. Do you guys remember? Let's go. Boom. Yeet. Phantom Forces up. Pult busted. Just chilling. Oh man, it's so degenerate. Just using Pult as like a Phantom Force sweeper instead of like actually doing things correctly. I don't think it matters who we really send out. I think you got to send the Whims out first. Just because I think that there's still one more turn left on the Trick Room. I'm trying to remember. But then like after that, if all they have Zacian, we just win. So Whimscott's up. And is it Zacian? There it is. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So big Intrepid Sword. Yep, I'm looking at the Trick Room turns. There's one turn left. And so it doesn't really matter what we're doing. Just go for the Moonblast. Just get a little bit extra damage. And if they want to hit the Whimsicott, they can. There's the Behemoth Blade. I think they go into the Pult slot, right? Do they go into Pult or the Whims? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they finally get the big Pult off the board, but that's fine. Like, Pult did more than enough. It finally got the KO on the Lunala. It dodged moves. It was just perfect. And we also know that to KO bulky Zacians, you need like 1 to 2 Moonblasts sometimes. So it's great. Dimensions turn to normal. That's the thing about Zacian, right? It can't be scarfed. It's so nice seeing Zacian sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really like Zacian. It has to be played that like one way. So that's why I kind of want to use like regular Zacian. So I can put like scarfs on it. I think scarf regular Zacian's like not bad. Huge honor to catch you live today. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. But yeah, we get those big wins here. Astral Barrage. Single target specs. Boosted damage. And the Yeet Delete. Hopefully I'm as good as you in 10 years. You could be as good as me right now. It's not that hard. It is not that hard, and we take the big wins. The biggest wins the world's ever seen.